So if you guys don't know me already, my name's Hoku Arnold. I've been able to scale in all aspects of business. I now run a 6-figure coaching business. We're aiming for $100,000 a month by December. And I just turned 18 years old and I'm traveling the world. I just went from Sweden to London to Paris to now Monaco, and I have a penthouse in Miami. I'm planning a trip with my family in Japan. Anyways, the whole point of this is to show you how I delegated my entire life and my business. And the craziest thing from traveling the world at a super young age is, number one, I feel super fulfilled doing it. Like, even though a lot of entrepreneurs are out there traveling the world, they're stuck in, they have location freedom, but they still have no time freedom to actually enjoy the fruits of their labor. On this trip, I've been able to enjoy and go out and explore and see things that I've never ever seen before. On top of this, I want to show you guys inside of this video how I delegated and how I removed myself from the inside of the business, because the whole reason I got into this coaching, number one, I had a skill to teach and I had value to bring to the table. Number two is because it's super fulfilling, changing someone's life. And number three, I wanted to be more than just a barber, right? I wanted to be something, bigger than just a barber cutting hair behind the chair, because barbering can only take you so far. In my opinion, barbering is a stepping stone. Once you reach a certain point, and the next thing, whether that's coaching, whether that's a barbershop, whether it's a product, hairline, whatever it is, that should be the next step. Inside of this video, I want to show you guys how I actually delegated and what task I actually delegated to scale, not only as a barber, but actually as a barber coach. To remind you, a year ago, I was cutting 10 to 12 hour days. My back was sore. My legs would be shaking on my, sixth haircut for the day. I was charging less than $50 a haircut. And through all of that, I was still in mentorship and I had the information and I had the work ethic, but I was missing delegation and I was missing the team building. And to be real, I was making still good money, but if something were to go wrong and if I were to go traveling, I would immediately stop making money. As a barber, you need to think about your next step. If you want to be able to travel the world with your boys, if you want to be able to provide and actually provide and have, and live a financially free life, you need to learn and take a step back and see how barbering can take you to the next step. Because the truth is, barbering will only take you so far. And I learned that at a really, really young age. So anyways, I started delegating everything, the ins and outs of my business. When I was a barber, when I first scaled to 15K a month, I didn't have time to edit my content anymore. I didn't have time to post my content anymore. I didn't, after a long day of work and cutting hair, still making good money, the real money comes from the marketing. And when you have to edit your content and you're a barber, it just doesn't make sense. So first thing I did was have a short form editor trained and ready to go and do the editing and posting for me. What that did for me was open up more time if I wanted to cut more hair, but truthfully spend more time with my family and my friends. I was 16 at the time, you guys. For the coaching business, I got systems to handle my clients. I got obviously myself to handle my clients and fulfill and help them out. That's where the implementation, and that's where I help obviously my clients out. But most of all, for the DMs and to text people and to do all of that, and even sales call at this point, sometimes I'll have a closer on there or a setter, doing my DMs and whatnot, right? So I'm really leveraging at every single step of my business, right? Because in order to hit $100,000 in 1 month as a CEO with my coaching business, you cannot, as a CEO especially, and I just learned this from the mastermind I went to, is that you can't do it all. You have to delegate. You have to hand out tasks, especially tasks to those people who are probably better than you at actually doing the task. For example, I thought I was the shit at short form content, and I am. Don't get me wrong. But I would rather train someone to get even better at short form content, an editor to get better at short form content, and eventually just have them take it over for me. So now that time I could use to something else. Because as a founder, these $1 million a month founders, right? These guys that are making hundreds of $1,000s a month, they make the absolute most of their time. They're not spending it on a little 30-minute edit on CapCut, right? They're spending it, actually making the most of it. They're making the most of their time that they have, right? So if you're a barber, you shouldn't have to put all of your time into editing and posting and, doing all the nitty gritty stuff. You should really, really be focusing on how to create the best piece of content. And then from there, the editor handles all of it for you, right? But what a lot of barbers get messed up is that you guys don't actually have the correct information on knowing what kind of content to create and how to create it and what angle to get and what lighting to get. So then even if you guys were to, get an editor, you guys don't even know how to train the editor because you don't know how short form works, right? So your team should be under you, right? The only reason why I'm able to go viral and have my team still make me go viral is because I've went viral and now I teach them to go viral. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Now, obviously now you guys see me, chilling, making videos in Europe, inspiring you guys, traveling the world, being able to provide for my mom, doing all these crazy things at a pretty young age, if you ask me. And the reason I'm able to do all of this and still enjoy, because the whole point I got into entrepreneurship was to enjoy times like this, to actually get away from everything and enjoy my time out. Go to a dinner and not have to check my phone every 3 minutes, right? And actually enjoy. And the way I did that was simply taking a step back, looking at the 5, as a barber or as a barber coach, if you're watching this, look at the 5 things, go from 1 through 5, the most time consuming tasks that you could possibly delegate and give to someone else. Mine was, number 1 would be, DMs, right? Texting people, right? That was one of the biggest time consuming tasks. Number 2 was editing content. Boom, I had a setter for the DMs, right? Number 2, I got an editor, right? I delegated my time. Now I can focus on, client fulfillment. And like I said, this all boils down to the right information. You guys can all delegate, you guys can do all of that, but you guys will not properly know how to train your team if you don't have the right information already. And I can't tell my team they're gonna make a shit ton of money if I don't make a shit ton of money. I can't train my team to, go viral, for example, if I didn't go viral, like I said. Right? So first of all, you guys need to learn and actually get the right information so you guys can simply apply that information and eventually monetize it. Then eventually, if you want to start coaching like me, start your own barbershop, you guys actually have a personal brand that's now giving you the freedom that you want. Because at the end of the day, the whole reason I did barbering and in the first place was to travel and cut celebrities and get out there and just, enjoy my time out and travel the world, and enjoy time with my friends and family. There's more to life than just cutting hair for, $100 a haircut even, right? So that's the whole reason I did it. And if I could do it, so can you, right? So if you're a barber and you're someone who wants to truly live a life like this and genuinely be fulfilled with the work you're doing and have the time freedom, it's still possible as a barber, but eventually you need to use barbering as a stepping stone to get into bigger and better things, different avenues of life. But the one thing that I would 99% assume you're missing right now is not work ethic, it is not motivation, it is information. So I just dropped my entire barber course for completely free. It is not my one-on-one mentorship where you're gonna get one-on-one game and one-on-one action items and a custom game plan from me. If you guys want that, you guys can book a call, link in the description if you're ready to go. But most of you guys just need information, so I dropped my entire free blueprint A to Z that's helped over 200 plus barbers go viral, build a personal brand, hit record 10K months, 12K months, even 15K months, and get real time freedom behind the chair. Learn how to actually market yourself and build a real brand that lasts so you can eventually monetize. So if you want it, you guys can check the link in the description and then let me know how you feel about it. Last but not least, guys, stop overworking and start delegating and get the right information. I'll see you guys in the next. If you guys enjoyed this video, please comment, please subscribe, and let me know how it was.